The good news is that our government has expanded benefits for folks who are facing unemployment right now, at least until the end of the month. But applying for those benefits is incredibly complicated and difficult, especially for folks whose first language isn't English. That is why I am so thankful for Mid-Minnesota Legal Aid and for their unemployment insurance project. Thanks in part to your donations to the COVID-19 Response and Recovery Fund, MMLA is using their 100 years of experience providing legal resources for folks who can't afford them to help folks whose first language isn't English to apply for those needed benefits and to appeal any decisions. Making sure folks that get access to those unemployment benefits is helping make sure that they can pay for their housing, pay for food, and pay for other things that they need in order to stay safe and healthy. So I want to say thank you to MMLA for all of the work that they do and for their partnership with Greater Twin Cities United Way.
Minnesota Disability Law Center, a division of Mid-Minnesota Legal Aid, is the statewide protection and advocacy organization for Minnesotans with disabilities. We are one of the only organizations in the state that provides free civil legal services to some of our most vulnerable citizens. As you can imagine, the current health emergency has the potential to impact the daily lives of people with disabilities in numerous ways. In response to COVID-19, we continue to assist our clients on various levels, including individual representation, monitoring facilities that serve people with disabilities, and educating policymakers. COVID-19 has definitely impacted the needs of the Minnesota Disability Law Center's clients. We are seeing a lot of urgent and emerging issues, including equal access to health care, modifications to visitor policies in hospitals, distance learning for students with disabilities, court accessibility, and voting accessibility, among many others. The Disability Law Center needs to get the word out that we are here to help. So check us out on Facebook, and if you know someone who needs our help, encourage them to reach out to us at our intake line, 612-334-5970. We could also use volunteers and donations to help us help others. So thank you.
Welcome to the 2020 Virtual Law Day celebration. I'm Drew Schaefer, and I'm the Executive Director of Mid-Minnesota Legal Aid. I am so pleased to share this stage tonight with Rashana Sray, the President of Legal Aid's Governing Board.
Thank you, Drew, and thanks to all of you for tuning in tonight to our virtual celebration. I'm super excited to be here. We have so much to share with you this evening.
While we wish we could have all been together in person, the COVID-19 pandemic changed our plans. But we are glad you've joined us this evening, and we're looking forward to giving you the opportunity to join us in supporting the great and critical work Legal Aid does in our community. We also want to take a moment to remember former Minnesota Supreme Court Justice Russell Anderson, who passed away on Tuesday. And I also want to mention here early that tonight's event is closed captioned.
Our theme tonight, Coming Together to Advance Equal Justice, feels especially important this year when we are not only physically distanced from each other as a result of the pandemic, but the murder of George Floyd and the social unrest that followed has many of us feeling even more distance from that sense of community. Legal Aid has been a leader in our community for over 100 years, and as you will see, Legal Aid is serving our community every day. But in times of great crisis like we're experiencing now, Legal Aid has stepped forward to help our neighbors who need them most.
People turn to legal aid and rely on legal aid at some really important times in their lives and for important people in their lives. And legal aid is here for those families.
At Legal Aid, we provide high-quality legal representation to low-income residents of Minnesota.
We help with so many different kinds of cases, from helping somebody whose insurance didn't want to pay for assistive technology. Our housing unit preserves people's housing. Our family law unit prioritizes working with people who have experienced domestic violence.
Legal Aid's Disability Law Center is the protection and advocacy system for people with developmental disabilities and other disabilities in the state of Minnesota. And we work on a wide array of issues, that are important to our clients' lives: special education, social services, employment supports. And we use the tools at our disposal, many of which were established in the Welsh case, to advocate for our clients and to help them live more inclusive and meaningful lives.
I think one of the strengths of this organization is that we have world-class experts in-house on some of the toughest kinds of issues that legal services has to deal with, and we've had them here for generations now.
So I've always wanted to be a firefighter since I was about 5 years old. My father and Jay from Legal Aid fought very hard to get minorities onto the fire department, which has then assisted on me becoming a firefighter and moving up through the ranks to become a firefighter.
For the families and children that we serve, school lunch is really critical. And through our work at the legislature and through child hunger, we learned that some children who had a lunch debt were being denied a school lunch. And what we learned is not only were children being denied a lunch when they had a lunch debt, but there was a whole spectrum of lunch shaming practices happening. And so all these practices were really embarrassing and humiliating for kids. And Legal Aid decided we have to do something.
When I was 16 years old, I had the great opportunity, which I will be thankful for my entire life, for Legal Aid to help me. And without Legal Aid, I don't know where I would have ended up. As a result of Legal Aid, I actually was able to graduate from high school early. I started one of the first shelters for homeless youth. I ended up going to law school myself. I am a licensed attorney and been running nonprofit organizations.
Legal Aid is a very mission-driven organization, which you just don't see a lot of now, right? And having worked there for about 5 years, I know firsthand that the attorneys and advocates there work every single day with this passion and the same level of commitment.
Legal Aid helped my family get our permanent residence status and ultimately our citizenship status. And because of the work of Legal Aid, I decided to run for mayor in my city of Brooklyn Center. And today I serve as mayor of the city that I love.
Legal Aid's work is still very important during this pandemic because even though some places have closed and the courts aren't, fully open, emergencies are still happening. People are still facing crisis. And soon, once the courts fully reopen, there will be evictions going on as well. And so Legal Aid's work to continue to help clients during crisis is still very important because everyone's homes and safety is still being threatened, whether a pandemic is going on or not. Time still goes on.
Legal Aid is there when nobody else is. They are paying attention when nobody else is, and they are advocates for people that nobody else is advocating for. And if we advocate for the people who don't have a voice, you would be amazed what those people can do with their lives.
The legal community in the state of Minnesota realizes our duty to low-income residents of our state, and providing free legal services to low-income Minnesotans, it's right. It's what we need to do. It's what we've done for 100 years and what, with the help of our supporters, we're going to continue doing for a long time.
Thank you so much for supporting Legal Aid. We have come together virtually at an unprecedented and critical time in our history. Last year, we delivered justice to over 10,000 households, vindicating their most basic civil legal rights to ensure their health, safety, security, and well-being. We entered 2020 with a new and more visible office in downtown Minneapolis, poised to carry the message of our work in new ways throughout all of the communities we serve. As we set out on this new path, we encountered the biggest challenge our clients and the communities we serve have faced in our lifetimes: a once-in-a-century global pandemic, public health emergency, and economic calamity. The COVID-19 pandemic and its pernicious ripple effects visited disproportionate harm on our client communities, including Black, Indigenous, and people of color, the elderly, and people with disabilities. This, along with the police killing of George Floyd, served as a call to action about the broken systems that perpetuate harm and injustice in the communities we serve. This is why we are all here tonight. Legal aid delivers justice to people. There is so much that needs to be done, and we cannot do it without you. Since March, the level of need in the communities we serve has spiked to new levels. We are fielding thousands of phone calls each month from people desperately seeking help, and we have responded. Within a week of the onset of the public health emergency caused by COVID-19, we transitioned to a primarily virtual office and imagined new ways to provide representation safely to our clients. We formed emergency response teams to seek justice for people experiencing harm from the pandemic, including people in need of health care and people in need of unemployment insurance to stabilize their lives. Right now, we are working diligently to ensure healthy and safe access to democracy and voting. With the help of volunteers, we surveyed over 150 polling places prior to the August primaries, ensuring that they were accessible to people with disabilities. Meanwhile, through other ongoing systemic advocacy, we are ensuring that absentee voting is safe and accessible for everyone. Again, thank you. You make all of this critical work possible. You make justice happen.
I'd like to share with you the work of Legal Aid's Disability Law Center, who worked with the Foley family when their son Matthew was struggling with school. The Disability Law Center used their expertise and their skills to enforce the law and to vindicate Matthew's right to an education. Here is the Foley family's story.
Matthew is our youngest of 4 boys, and 3 of the 4 have autism. So Matthew's story is quite involves considerable behavioral challenges. He has diabetes, which makes placement challenging. Matthew is 15 years old, and probably is our most challenging child in terms of behavior profile. Matthew has been residing in a group home for about 3 years now. And so we felt like we needed to get expert support on what options might be available for Matthew. We initiated a consultation, and Cindy then contacted the administration at the school district, and that got the ball rolling for some more creative thinking.
We developed a plan that would include Sheila Mercer and Wendy Selness as 2 experts who would be working, one who is an expert in autism, one who's an expert in behavior, to develop some programming for this young man.
At first, we participated in his evaluation and observed that Matthew had learned a lot of sign language, memorized signs, but he was not using them functionally to communicate.
What was interesting about the programming, we've learned that Matthew had a lot of skills that I don't think people realize.
The duration of his patience or his cooperation with the teacher time improved.
The young man has made significant progress in many areas, including communication, which is a huge area for any student who has autism, and especially the children that are nonverbal.
My wife and I have been very pleased with the support from the Disability Law Center. Matthew has always been a very sweet and lovable boy, and he's growing now into a rather muscular young man. His behavior trajectory has been much better with the supervision available at the group home. So we're very pleased that he's in a good place given his disability and given the behaviors that we sometimes see.
Supporting Matthew this summer has been one of the most positive things we have been able to do.
I raised 4 girls, and I'm not going to lie, we lost sleep. I mean, we lost sleep over the kids. But I can tell you, I've got clients I've lost a whole lot more sleep over than I've ever lost over all 4 of my kids combined. When you see something positive, you kind of really have to take that and hold on to it.
I'm a parent. I know many of you out there are parents too. What a truly inspiring and amazing story. Thank you so much to the Foley family for sharing their story with us.
We want to take a moment right now to thank all of our event underwriters and sponsors who've made tonight possible. Thank you for your support. We also want to take this opportunity to thank the General Counsel who have graciously agreed to participate in our Lunch with the General Counsel silent auction this year.
Your gifts make a difference in our community, and your generosity is needed now more than ever. Legal Aid leverages community partnerships to make an even bigger impact. Legal Aid's community-based legal clinics at Issaroon and the Brian Coyle Center in Minneapolis are great examples of those partnerships that are made possible by the generosity of the Pat and Tom Grossman Family Fund. Here is a glimpse into the differences these clinics make.
For the last 4 years, I've been working as a staff attorney at Mid-Minnesota Legal Aid, running one of Legal Aid's community partnership clinics, Issaroon, which is a community-based women's health and advocacy organization.
What Issaroon means is a woman who takes care of herself. And that is a very old Somali female name. So it's really a strength-based name. And it's a strength-based destination for all of our Somali women, and in fact, all women who want to be independent financially, physically, and emotionally.
Creating that very vibrant and very authentic community is at the heart of what Issaroon's mission is and is integral to what I view as its great success.
I think the most critical thing what we do is focus on the soul of our families. When Legal Aid opportunity came in and someone said, hey, Legal Aid is looking for a partner in the community, and we said, well, we'll do a trial. And Gregor came in, and Gregor he was already aware and conscious how to serve. And then the community just come in. So the trial was over when his calendar blew up.
A couple of days every week, I'm here all day, seeing new clients, doing follow-up jobs with existing clients in a pretty wide range of legal areas. And I think that is one of the things that is so valuable about this partnership, is that it's bringing legal problem solving to people with solvable legal problems who might not get to us ever if it wasn't for Issaroon and our partnership with them.
So the power of what Legal Aid and Gregor had done for us was really enhance the well-being of our families.
The work that I do at Legal Aid and with Issaroon is funded very generously by Tom Grossman and his foundation.
We wanted to support refugees and first-generation Americans. My grandparents came here with the clothes on their back. My wife's grandparents came here to work in the mines in northern Minnesota. We are both third-generation Americans, and we are the American dream.
One of the great virtues of the generous funding that we have gotten from the Tom and Pat Grossman Foundation is that it allows us to really have a sustained, full-time relationship with Issaroon.
What we hope to be able to do is to give people who would not have these services a hand up and an opportunity to get a running start in the United States. It's something that my family got, and it's something we're obligated to pass on.
Tom has said that he and Pat are committed to this, not just committed to carrying it forward, but he actually expanded it and doubled the support that the foundation was providing to support a second attorney at the Brian Coyle Center.
The Brian Coyle Center is a community center that serves a lot the new immigrant community and a lot of low-income people that live in this area. My passion has always been to help people, and I was fortunate enough to find my passion in law. I am an immigrant myself. You know, I came from Somalia and came here as a teenager. It wasn't easy. I lived in the South. I lived in Texas for 10 years. I've always been told this is not something you can do. And I see that even here in Minnesota, that people that have been broken. And so if you can do one thing that makes a difference, whether it's me help serving these people or the Grossman Foundation being generous with their gift so that the people that deserve the help, they can get it, we have a better society.
It's helping people where it's needed. Not only that empowers, it removes pain.
I think contributing and giving back is very important. We are lucky enough to be able to help with these 2 clinics, but that's not the important part. The important part is doing your part, whatever that is. If somebody has $8 in their pocket and gives $10, that's a much more significant gift than I've given. And so I would just say to everybody, do what you think is right.
Very well said, Tom. Thank you, Issaroon and the Brian Coyle Center for your partnership, and to the Pat and Tom Grossman Family Fund for making this work possible. We hope this evening inspires you to make a difference. Tonight, our goal is to raise $100,000 to support legal aid. Thank you so much, Joe Anthony, who has very generously given a gift of $10,000. Joe, that's huge, to support legal aid's work. Joe is a longtime supporter of legal aid, and we're grateful for your gift, so thank you so much, Joe.
And thank you to Bill and Ann Hart-Werns, who have very generously also given a gift of $10,000. Bill and Ann made this gift in honor of the Bruce Webster death penalty team at Dorsey and Whitney. The lead attorneys on this case were partners Kate Johnson, Kirsten Schubert, and our own fund board member, Steve Wells. After 11 years and more than 12,000 pro bono hours, this team from Dorsey successfully convinced the federal courts to vacate the death sentence of Bruce Webster, a man with intellectual disabilities. So thank you again to Bill and Ann Hart-Werns for this gift, and thank you to the team at Dorsey for doing justice for Mr. Webster.
Indeed, thank you, Bill and Ann, and thank you again, Joe, for your generous donations of $10,000. We would love to see some of you other folks donate and join that leadership level. Thank you to Allison Woodbury for her generous support of $5,000.
And joining Allison, we thank Christine Muirs for your donation of $5,000. Thank you, Christine. Let's keep these coming in. Let's a few more $5,000 gifts.
For sure, for sure. We can all do it together, you guys. Legal aid gives people help and hope. We've seen families who've been able to be with loved ones when they are sick, helped people safely leave violent homes, and protect families from illegal housing lockouts and eviction attempts. Legal aid supporters have always stepped up in a time of crisis, and tonight we're asking you to give what you can to support legal aid's work, whether that's $100, $1,000, or $10,000. Every gift matters and makes a huge difference.
And every gift does make a difference. So let's check in on our goal and see where we're at. Our total giving right now is, we're just a little over $80,000. We got $20,000 to go.
That's awesome, you guys. Keep it coming in. Let's try to check out some people who are donating, Drew. We've got Matt Nolan. Thank you so much for your gift.
Marin Holden. Thank you, Marin.
Rena Desai. Thank you so much for your gift. Thank you for your support.
Paul Johnson. Thank you, Paul, for the gift.
Julian Long, thank you so much for supporting Legal Aid. We really appreciate it.
We've had a couple anonymous givers. Allison Colton, thank you, Allison, for your generous gift.
Ruth and David Olkin, we appreciate the support.
Mary Knobloch, thank you so much, Mary. We appreciate it.
And Cheryl Thomas, thank you for supporting Legal Aid. There are so many names on this screen, and we could be scrolling through all night long. So thank you so much, everybody, and let's keep the gifts coming.
So we have come to the point in our program this evening where we'd like to recognize our honoree for this year's Law Day celebration, Andrea Kaufman. Our past Fund Board Chair, Keith Moaban, will present Andrea with this award. Thank you, Andrea, for your many years of service to Legal Aid.
We're at the Legal Aid offices in downtown Minneapolis to continue one of our Law Day traditions, and that is to honor a longtime supporter of Legal Aid. And this year, I'm very pleased to give this award to my longtime friend, Andrea Kaufman.
Thank you.
Legal Aid's been in existence for more than 100 years, and an organization doesn't last that long and thrive as Legal Aid has without all-in supporters. So there's many of us who have done things to support Legal Aid, whether it's a contribution or a volunteer on a case or serve for a time on the board. But then there are some people who give their heart and soul to the organization for a lengthy period of time, and that describes Andrea to a T. Andrea was an attorney at U.S. Bank in 1993 when she joined the board of directors for the fund. She then served on the board for 15 years, and in that time she was the head of the Leaders of Giving campaign for 4 years before ascending to become the board chair. After that, though, that wasn't enough, and Andrea then became the fund director, a full-time job on the staff of the fund, which she did for 8 years until she retired last year. So when you think of people who have made Legal Aid what it is today, we need people who are all in, who give their heart and soul, and that is what Andrea has done, and that is why we have given her this award tonight. Even in her retirement, which is, I know, is much too early because we're the same age, she's continuing to support Legal Aid as a volunteer doing immigration cases. So what we have for you, Andrea, to recognize that your work for support is noticed at the highest levels in the land, we have this letter to you from United States Senator Amy Klobuchar recognizing your decades of strong and good work for Legal Aid.
Thank
so congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator. I am honored to be here and to accept this recognition. I hope that you will indulge me for just a couple minutes so I can share with you why Legal Aid means so much to me. Legal Aid provides free legal help for more than 10,000 Minnesotans annually. And I want to give some examples of the work that Legal Aid does for clients every day. Legal Aid helps a family with very low income fight an illegal eviction and stay in their home and in their neighborhood school. A person who uses a wheelchair has access to a polling place. A parent who is a refugee gains citizenship for himself and his child so they can participate fully in this country. A woman who has experienced domestic violence finds safety and obtains a restraining order. A tenant who is Black brings a housing discrimination case and demands fair treatment for her and her children. And then there are DACA clients, teenagers and young adults who came to this country as infants and toddlers through no fault of their own. I actually get to help the DACA clients. I help them apply for DACA so they have access to a driver's license, a social security card, and an after-school job. Without Legal Aid's expertise in immigration law, I could not achieve these results. So suffice it to say, I am in awe of the work provided by Legal Aid and its 170 employees. Thank you to Mid-Minnesota Legal Aid, the Fund for Legal Aid, and you, our community of donors, for making justice a reality for Legal Aid's current and future clients. Again, I thank you for this incredible honor.
Thank you again, Andrea. One of our other traditions at the annual Law Day celebration is to recognize our outgoing Fund Board Chair. I want to extend Legal Aid's deepest gratitude and appreciation to Keith Moabon for his leadership and vision as chair of the Fund Board for the past 2 years. Thank you for joining us this evening. We're so grateful for all of your generous gifts this evening, which now total, Roshana, where are we at?
We're at 92,000. That's amazing, everybody. Keep it coming. We're getting so close. Please invite your friends and colleagues to help us reach our goals. You can continue to give on the event webpage, www.mylegalaid.org/Law Day.
Thank you again for your generosity. Keep giving. And thank you for the difference you've made in the communities we serve.
Thank you so much, everyone out there, for joining us this evening. We appreciate your support and have an excellent night.
Thank you for supporting Legal Aid. Your help helps us.
Thank you so much for your support. It makes such a difference to the communities we serve.
We really appreciate all the donors and all the foundations.
So I want to say thanks to all of my friends and Legal Aid's friends and partners in the community who have done so much to support our organization.
Thank you for supporting Legal Aid and helping our clients.
Thank you so much for supporting Legal Aid and being our partner in doing this work and fighting for justice for all families and kids statewide.
What you give to us is so important and vital to us continuing to do the work that we've done for over 100 years.
Want to say thank you, shukran, for your generous support. It makes a difference for our clients every day.